Hey, what's up guys? How you doing? It is Lasty here. Welcome today to a squad builder that I've decided to put together all because of one player. This Team of the Week gem seems to be better than the icon Henry, the 87 rated baby version of Thierry Henry. So I'm very much excited to share the squad with you and more importantly talk about this player. The squad itself is actually going to be just one league. It's just the full Bundesliga side, but I wanted to try and put in there in each position in this 4-3-2-1 side, I wanted to put in who I would consider to be one of the most OP players in that position for this league. So if you are someone that's out there looking to buy a Bundes side, the players in this squad are definitely the ones that I would pick to go in my team. So in goal we had Farman. You saw I had Neuer, you saw I had Leno, you saw I had Timo Horn. Like, there's lots of great German goalkeepers, but none are as good as Farman in my opinion. We then have Mitchell Weiser at right back. He's the most pacey right back in this league. Of course, you could go with the likes of Piszczek, or of course you could go with the Bayern Munich guy who I've forgotten the name of, but he's got loads of informs and special items. Kimmich, of course, who has got loads of crazy items, but Weiser is the cheap OP, very pacey right back on this game. At left back, David Alaba beats everyone for me. Of course, there is the likes of Wendell, a nice cheap Brazilian in the league, but I think the one to go for is definitely David Alaba. Same for Jerome Boateng. There are lots of cheap and pretty decent centre-backs in this league, but Jerome Boateng is just the most solid. I think he's unreal. And then we have someone that came in from this week's Team of the Week, or last week's Team of the Week, however late you're actually watching this, because I know we've got a new Team of the Week today. But Matthias Ginter has now got an 86 rated item. I believe it's a third inform, with like stats all in the 70s, some in the 80s, you know, passing, defending and physical. If this guy gets a TOTS, which considering he's already got 3 informs, you would consider he's having a good season, right? His TOTS could be mental. It could be absolutely ridiculous. So that completes like a dreamy defense for me in the Bundes. Moving on to the midfield then, of course, Leon Goretzka features. For me, just the 82 rated version is enough because I've used this and I've used his inform and I don't think there's much of a difference between the two. 6'2", high work rates, pacey for a centre mid. Goretzka is the man. He actually is as good as someone like Arturo Vidal for me, who is another one of the best midfielders in this game. 87 rated. Apart from his pace and his dribbling, he's got every stat in the 80s, and he is just one of those players which is good going forward and really good in the defensive side of things in midfield as well. If you switch formation with this team, he's definitely the one that goes CDM to really shore things up there. Zlatko Januzovic, FUTWIZ version, is my third and final central midfielder in this formation. FUTWIZ version, I mean, the colours just work with this guy. It's greens and reds everywhere, and his stats, again, a little bit like Vidal, they're very well rounded, decent across the board. He's got very good passing and dribbling as well. And then we've got 3 special items up front, and they couldn't get much more OP, to be honest. We've got Divock Origi, who is 82 rated. He does have a Path to Glory item, which was centrally positioned. So if you were using a different formation and you still wanted to have Origi up front and you had, let's say, 2 strikers, you could get the Path to Glory version. It's not much more expensive, and he will be that central card for you. We then have Timo Werner in form. Now, you could, of course, go for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He's got cards in the Bundesliga. Whether or not he's finally signed for Arsenal, I'm not too sure at the time of making this video on Tuesday night, but there is a lot of talk of him going to Arsenal, and that could be a pretty big deal. But it's all about this guy, right? Leon Bailey. He plays for Leverkusen, and he's Jamaican. And he's left-footed. Now, that is about as far away from being a Thierry Henry, like, kind of similar player as can be. But when you take a look at the in-game stats and the card stats themselves and compare them to the baby version of Henry, the 87 rated, nearly like 800,000 coin player, this Bailey is better. He genuinely looks unbelievable because this is his second in form, and he has been boosted really, really nicely. So the stats are fairly similar across the board. Let's face it, Thierry Henry might have slightly better positioning and finishing, but, you know, we've added some chem style to Leon Bailey. We've given him a sniper, so hopefully that shooting department has risen in a couple of areas, and generally the rest of his stats are pretty much better than Thierry Henry, and he costs 1/10 of the price of the French icon. So if chemistry doesn't matter and you're building a squad like this, you would be better off almost putting Bailey in there than you would Thierry Henry. Is he a good option, a good candidate for being named the cheap Henry? I'd be interested to know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments section, because it's a tough one. You know, I've gone over this. The reason I built the squad is because I think he's comparable to Thierry Henry, but I don't necessarily want to fully go out there with the title of the cheap Henry, or this guy's better than Henry, or whatever, just because, you know, he's comparable, but he's also left-footed from a different nation, and, you know, Henry didn't play in the Bundesliga, so there's certain aspects to this particular card which is nothing like Thierry Henry. But in terms of stats and being out on the left-hand side, you know, I think they're the same height as well, as far as I can remember. Maybe he's a little bit short of Bailey. I should have checked that, or should have double-checked that. But overall, they're fairly similar, and in-game, I've got to say, Bailey performs really, really well. You're going to be seeing all the goals that I'm able to score with the whole team, and most of the goals did come from Bailey himself, so that was a positive thing. It means that I was able to get on the ball with him, actually score loads and loads of goals with him. But yeah, what I want to know in the comment section below, do you think there's a player that's more comparable to Thierry Henry in this game with the stats? You know, I'm looking for someone with similar stats in game. I know people call like Martial a young version of Thierry, but when you take a look at the stats, he's kind of nowhere near, although Martial is super OP. But are there any other players on this game that are in a similar position, or are the same footed, same height, with the skill moves and the weak foot and the pace and the dribbling? You know, if there's anyone closer than Bailey, I'd like to know down below in the comment section, because right now this is a fantastic option for you guys to use that is less than, about 1/10 of the price of Thierry, for you guys to use someone who is, let's face it, I would say as good, if not way better, from actually using him in game. Now, I am also almost like a firm believer that icons kind of outplay their stats sometimes. Icons are my favourite thing in the game, as I'm sure you guys know if you're like a long time viewer or anything. They're like definitely the best part of the game for me. I most enjoy them. One, because they link to anyone. Two, because they are legends of the past. You know, they're a lot of the time, being the age that I am, I'm 28 years old now, a lot of the legends or the icons that are in the game, their heyday was like when I was watching football as a kid. So there's a lot of nostalgia going on there. So they're always like the fun part for me, and whether or not I then play better with players like that on the game, or I play up to them or something, I don't know. But I've got to say, I went into things trying to almost like act as if this Leon Bailey was a version of Thierry Henry in game, and I've got to say he performed incredibly well. Like, you'll see certain like very different types of goals. We've got near post smashes, we've got near post finesses. Sometimes I'll bang it across goal, low driven it into the far corner. I think I've even got like a rainbow flick half volley across the keeper and stuff. I get a header here as well. That was a really nice header as well. He chests it up and then nods it in. I mean, that's calm, that's composed, that's ridiculous from Leon Bailey, and I don't know, I had a lot of fun using him. I know that this week's Team of the Week is about to run out, or it may have even run out by the time you're watching this, and we're getting a new one soon. But what that means is that a player like this is probably at about his cheapest that he's going to get. So it's not a bad time to buy someone like that. But of course, don't forget, he's already got a couple of informs, so that could suggest that he's having a bit of a good season. You might not want to hold on to someone that's 70-odd thousand coins too long, because if he goes ahead and performs again, gets himself that third inform, obviously the price of a second would drop drastically. So yeah, you're seeing there's loads of different types of goals. What you got here is someone that has 4-star skills, that can do the rainbow flick and then the volley into the back of the net, right, like that. That's probably the best goal that I got with him. I really, really like that one. You know, I'm a bit of a rainbow flick merchant from time to time. He's got 4-star skills. He's got the 4-star weak foot. The shot power is on point. The long shots are on point. The pace on this guy is unreal. The tight, close dribbling. He's kind of got it all. So this has almost been like a bit of a player review, but on my channel. You know, we're bigging up this guy who just performed really well for me and is someone that I was looking forward to using ever since I saw the stats and thought, you know what? I think he's comparable to an icon on this game. So let me know, guys. Is this the cheap Henry? Is this a Team of the Week gem who's better than Henry? I want to know your thoughts down below in the comments section. And of course, do me a favour, hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Have a great day, most importantly, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.